It's hard to say at this point. We're pleasantly surprised. More than anything else, we're somewhat shocked. I know a lot of people in the reporting community were saying that he had a more than substantial chance. But for us, it means, I suppose, having someone that speaks our language, that knows our culture, even though he worked for the most part in South America, and really that's what has defined his priesthood more than anything else. It's someone that at least is aware of the situation of the church in the U.S. and can offer good guidance and good leadership. Well, when he came to do our confirmation mass last year, I was impressed by the depth of his thought surrounding a number of issues in the church. We went out to dinner afterwards, and I had the good chance to talk with him for a couple of hours, and he's a little more reserved, a little more thoughtful and pensive. He's not going to speak off the cuff like Francis used to, but he's still a very warm personality once you get to know him. I expect that we're going to see something of justice for migrants and workers' rights, considering that he chose the papal name Leo XIV, which, if we know anything about Leo XIII, his predecessor, much of his pontificate was marked by a concern for workers' rights. That was in the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, both in the US and here in Italy, and that was one of his major concerns. So we think that this will be a continuation of that, but colored somewhat by a continuation of Francis's movement towards the peripheries of society.
It's a wonderful surprise. When I found out yesterday, I was actually at Mass, and the priest said that they had selected the Pope. And when I came out of Mass, I've lived in Rome for a long time. When I came out of Mass, I started speaking to an Italian man while I was waiting for the bus, and he said, "Americano." And I was completely delighted. And then I checked my phone, and I found out he was from Chicago, and I'm from Chicago, so I'm just bursting with pride and joy. Oh gosh, well, there have been a lot of expectations of a new pope because there's been a lot of talk about whether he should be more conservative or more liberal and continue the sort of path of Francis. And so if you read the headlines, it's all about him bringing everyone together and that it's going to be challenging. So I would like to see a continuation of what Francis started. And for me, it's just a thrill that he represents the United States, but he's also a very worldly man who had spent a lot of time in South America.